Hi ATEEZ Society, welcome back to the Antisocial Planet, and today we are checking out ATEEZ Pirate King, and I'm so excited for this because I've been starting my ATEEZ journey and I have yet to actually listen to a full song from them, which feels a little bit strange because I do feel very emotionally attached already. It's kind of concerning. I'm a little bit worried about how quickly I'm like, I would do anything that you wanted me to. Anything for you, anything you ask, no arguments from here. A tad concerning getting into this, but very excited to actually check out this song, a full song, and getting to see the music video, which it says it's a performance version. That's the only one that I found. So I think that is from what I got from the guide, is because they didn't really have the funding to do like a full music video necessarily, because I know they also have Treasure. So from what I get, it's probably them on location doing the choreo and stuff like that. So I don't know, I'm here to find out. I'm new, so I'm just going to go in as blind as possible and we'll figure it out as we go. And the reason that I'm doing this one before Treasure is because it's the first one listed out of the two on the album, and that's the only logic that I have there. Now, for those of you who may be new to my channel because you're here for ATEEZ, this is how it's going to go. I'm going to check out a lyric video first, and then we're going to check out the video. Why do I do this? I do this because I am neurodivergent, okay? I get overwhelmed easily, and that means that it is not enjoyable for me because I am too busy being overwhelmed and overstimulated. So instead, I separate it out so I can listen to the song, focus in on production and vocal stuff, and then we can deal with visuals. And I will get distracted by visuals with this group if previous experience is anything to pull from. I get that lyric videos are not always the most accurate in translations or line distribution. That's okay. I'm here to hear the song, and any corrections that may need to happen, totally okay. I'm not taking it as gospel. I'm taking it as a ballpark of what the song is about and who may or may not be singing at what point, okay? It's all right. That being said, I'm also a pauser. I'm gonna pause. I'm gonna let myself process things and talk through my ideas. If you don't like that, leave now or forever hold your peace, okay? Plenty of channels out there that make videos where they do not pause or they do not check out a lyric video first. Go forth and enjoy them. I wish you all the best, but you're not going to find that here. And if you go into my comment section and start talking about it, I am going to read it and I am going to call you out. So this is your warning on that one. And if that bothers you, you got the warning here. If you skipped the intro, that's on you. The rest of us who are okay with this, hi, hello, welcome to the channel. I'm very excited to check out this song. So let's get, oop, as I excitedly hit my mic in the process. Let's get into the lyric video first. I actually need to chill. It's the giddiness that vibrates through me. And this is only my third ATEEZ video. I need to calm down. Okay, let's do this. Okay. I like a good beat going in. It feels like we're winding up though. No, I've had discussions with people in the comments because of my killing voice where I was like, stop growling at me. They're like, growling is a thing. No, I'm pretty sure this might have also been in killing voice if I'm having a flashback. Absolutely not. I'm gonna rewind though because
I feel like somebody you get it. 우주의 자리까지 발을 딛고 서 I see future face 좀 다친 락시 got a best 끝없이 향해 ready couldn't till the end.
Okay, I got a little distracted with production stuff. We're gonna go back for lyrical things. They really just came out the gate. We're like, aggression. Immediately, I was like, okay, fine, this is what we're doing. Gotcha. Especially since the whole Pirate King thing. If pirates is their theme, concept, and them already being like, king, that's where we're at. Okay. Sure. Production is so interesting. It has this kind of constant beat looping in the back, but then there's almost this like hollow wooden sounding instrument sample as well that was distracting me. I know it's interesting to have that sound, especially something that feels almost like a wooden instrument when we're dealing with like pirates, right? Because boats would usually. So again, like incorporating some of that into the production storytelling as well. I like that we're getting some bright, good closure sounds, like lots of kind of masking, and I think that it contrasts really well with Mingi coming in with that deeper tone, right? Because we're getting this very bright forward placement, and then his voice is contrasting with that as we get into what I'm assuming is more of the verses than this little intro.
우주의 자리까지 발을 딛고 서
Ooh, I love the we'll reach space.
끝없이 향해 ready couldn't till the end.
Ooh, I also like the raising the anchor, and then we have that kind of like pulled forward into Jungho as he comes in. If it is, in fact, him. I haven't fully heard it yet, so I don't know. But I love, again, some of that pirate imagery coming into the lyrical storytelling, again, to go along with some of that production stuff, and saying, we'll set sail, we'll reach outer space was one of them, or we'll reach space. I love a good space pirate. I'm just saying, I don't know what iteration of pirates we're going to be getting, but I do like a good space pirate story.
I feel like somebody you get it 우주의 자리까지
I love how he draws out some of the syllables too.
끝없이 향해 ready couldn't till the end.
Ooh, good melody. Vocals. Nasty drop. Again with that kind of like wooden instrument sample. No. I also remember from the guide that he has the thing where his kind of calling card thing as a rapper before he comes in is laughing. And I refuse. Absolutely refuse. We're not doing growling, whatever that like sample thing was at like what the second line of the song where they were all like doing the vocal ad-lib thing, and we're not doing laughing to introduce our verse. Okay, no, I roll up my sleeves to get ready for this. Okay, love that we have almost like this anti-drop in it, especially since this song has this kind of like swagger to the way that they're presenting themselves, right? So having a drop that feels very pulled back and like languid, right, I think fits really well. I was also thinking, again, going into some of the pirate themes, that a lot of kind of like pirate, I don't know, like shanty things have more of onomatopoeia, like vocalizations incorporated into it. And I think that it's interesting that they have that as the chorus, right? The chorus doesn't have a bunch of lyrical content in it. It's just those vocalizations throughout it. And it's very reminiscent of like pirate shanties or like sailing songs, right? So I think that that's also really cool to put into it with this like crazy percussion beat coming in. It's heavy in the mixing. Those like horns. Ooh, I was just thinking, I love how he has this singing. He starts off and then he just starts to transition into almost this melodic rap, and then we get more into that rap cadence just to finish off the line, and it speeds up. I love that. And like breathy vocal delivery. And then he tightens up. It's almost like a vocal sample. Ooh, it was like a vocal sample, and then I don't even know if that was a vocal or what. It was really high up. Ooh, the ad-lib. Ooh, we're getting some more. Lyrical stuff. Ooh, again, nasty production and it makes you move to it, even though there's fairly minimal stuff going on, right? Minimal lyrically. There's some key production elements, but they're like really dominating the production in terms of mixing, and it's pulling forward some of the elements that were in the verses and just giving them the breathing room now that they don't have to pull back so you can have the vocals be forward. Love that. I also, again, really like having some great closure in the vocals between the different members. I don't want to say anything specific about the notes because I'm not sure entirely who is singing which parts, because lyric video, line distribution, not always the most accurate. So I don't want to go too much into that because I haven't trained my ear enough to figure it out. But I love that we're getting some nice closure, and I think that that is a great contrast with Hangjung before, where when he was singing at the beginning of his verse, very like light, breathy delivery, great contrast, but also pulls you in, right? It's like a little bit of a quieter sound, so it's pulling you into his orbit before he like starts to like really take off on his verse, which I like dynamically. Overall, it's a great song. I'm excited to see what the choreo is going to be, because having very minimal stuff going on in the chorus, but having some like really key production elements means that you can do cool stuff with the choreo, and you don't have to worry about like having stable vocals, and you have lots to focus in on with those dominating production to pick out which part is going to accent which part of the choreo. So I'm excited to see some of that. Ooh, good harmony there. Whew. No, with that like that vocal again, like really forward placing some good masking, like bright sound, but it's like a mixed cadence. He's not like thinning out his sound there, and I feel like it probably is Jungho, because vocals for days. But again, down in the comments, let me know, because I'm again here to learn. I'm okay with corrections and all of that. But again, great almost like rocker delivery to that, and then having some of this percussion switch up underneath of it. And it looks like maybe we're getting multiple layered vocals again. I also really like that. I haven't mentioned it before, but I like that we're having parts where there are multiple of their voices layered up together, because it makes a good collective feeling within the whole song. A little bit of grit there too. Ooh, fun little rise vocal there. Ooh. Those like horn samples are crazy. Ooh. Loved that. I also like it as an introduction of like, hey, hop on board, let's set sail, right? It has this great feeling of starting a journey, which I didn't really do on purpose for the sake of this. Again, I wasn't really sure in terms of timeline which one dropped first, this or Treasure, but I was like, I'm gonna do this one because it's the first one in order on the album. But it has this feeling of like, hey, come aboard. And even the line of, you need a pirate king, you need somebody to sail this ship, let's go on an adventure together, and you're in good hands. It is basically the feeling of it, and having again that great kind of vocalizations for the chorus, because that is a really easy thing if you're playing in a show and you're one of the audience members. Everyone can sing collectively along with that. It doesn't matter which language you speak or like how good of a singer you might be, because it's a fairly easy cadence to do vocally. And again, they add some other layers in it to add kind of harmonies and stuff, but the majority of it, you can do that as like an average person. So it must be so fun to see this in a live setting. I've heard that their live performances are also incredible, like both in the guide and from talking to people in comments, but getting to be in that like energy of getting to sing that part along with them is probably also a lot of fun. Ooh, I'm excited. I've packed my bags. I'm ready to set sail. Aye, Captain. Wherever we're going, I'm here for just like enjoying the ride. I don't really care about the destination, really. But excited to check out the music video, because I've only seen some clips here and there in the guide of choreo. So it's pretty exciting. I was just thinking, where was I October 23rd, 2018? To have missed this, I was already into K-pop at that point. What was I doing? And then I realized that I was probably writing finals and in third year university. I'm like, oh, I was busy. I think I get a little bit of a pass. I don't think I was aware of much of anything at that point. A little less fun than getting into ATEEZ, but hey, we got to be here now, so I'm too excited. Let's go. Ooh, I already like some of the... Ooh. Still gets me. I was gonna say I love some of the images that we're putting together collectively. And the flowing hand movements. Ooh, cool use of levels. I don't know if you need to body roll like that. Sir, I was trying to recover from the choreo before you came at me. And I have several thoughts. One, shout out to them for dancing on sand. That is asking a lot of anybody. Second, I like the facial expressions. I like that you can see some of them lip syncing along to the song even when it's not their part. It's great because when we have that formation where they're moving around in almost like a circular motion, we're gonna have someone else center where it isn't necessarily their part, but they're gonna be a focus. So I like that they're staying in character for that performing. Love that layer there. I feel like I just froze up. Ooh. Oh, do not smile at me like that. What is that? Uyang? I'm still learning. But I was gonna talk about how I like the transfer of movement there from one side to the other. I also really like the editing between, they just have these two setups, right? Here in the sand and then it's like canyon, but they're doing some cool stuff with the editing, working on a budget and making it work, and then doing some stuff in post to pull it all together. But I really like that. Facial expressions though, so good. I like this flowing across and using different levels again. Don't smile at me like that, it's very cute. And then this. Ooh, I like the way they hit the different beats. Sir, facial expressions. I just... Demon line coming out here. Sir, don't. A little footwork there. Ooh. No. Ooh, the spin. And again, great use of levels so far in the choreo. Like we had the one where they had the 3 different layers, which was really good. Even having that asymmetrical one right before we got into the chorus. And then this one where we have the different levels to do the reveal and a different setup for where we're dancing, which is also quite nice, right? Switching between the two. And then as we get into the second verse, switching up some of the shots. Great way of utilizing what they had and making the best of it. But also got you just seeing the way that they're kicking up this dust and stuff. My lungs already hurt a little bit. Great facial expressions. Love some of the more rigid movements, like having kind of these hard stops in some of the arm movements. I was even thinking while listening to the song that some of the kind of like steady beat that is going through it has this feeling of almost like marching or almost like counting, right? Because they have like row the boat later. So it's like almost like keeping that timing so that everyone is like rowing at the same time. So I think that them incorporating some of that kind of regimented feeling into some of the movements is actually really cool. But love that spin and then immediately like all the way down so that you can have like a reveal. That's a lot of movement to have to pull off. Sir, I need you to be slightly less charismatic. Ooh. Good edit there too. Ooh, he said drama. Ooh, sorry, no, before you come in, but I like that change in the camera to the perspective, and I like that he continued to act forward. What was that? Young again? He was acting forward, so he wasn't tracking the camera, which is really good because that shot of switching the camera around to be a profile is only gonna work if he doesn't track it, right? Because that's not the point. It's almost like having laser focused of like, hey, I'm going this way. I'm going on this journey. We're gonna go all the way to the top. Maybe we'll make it into space, right? This is the direction I'm going. Hop aboard if you want to join, but I'm going, right? So it's almost like linking into that kind of like laser focus of what they're talking about and not tracking where the camera is going. And it's almost like having the camera be the POV of us as the viewer. We're like joining the formation a little bit, which is cool going into the second chorus here. Sir. Ooh, I love that, like steering the boat. We got our captain at the helm. Ooh, that switch back in the formation. Ooh. Cool formation, again, showing us moving through the formation to zero in on everyone, switching so we're not facing the formation down stage as you usually would for a live performance, and then having the camera kind of track through the formation. Again, making us as the viewer feel like we're part of the group, which is really cool, actually, given some of the meaning of the song, right? Like, hold my hand, and we're kind of part. We're going together, right? Good slow motion. Ooh, good assist over. Ooh, it's a little slow motion. Ooh, love that swing back. Ooh, love the loosening up of the movements there after more rigid ones. And of course, Captain coming through at the end. Nice. Like we got a flag and everything. Going on a journey. I'm here for it. Ooh, okay. Well played, well played. Again, some of it I might not get. Are we gonna check out a dance practice? Of course we're gonna check out a dance practice. Who do you think I am? So I will be able to get into some of the more technical stuff because we're not gonna be like moving the camera around as much and some of the editing and all of that. So it will be nice to have more of a pulled back version of it. But some really cool images that they were pulling off. And again, we've got a fairly big group of people that we're working with here and minimal stuff going on in terms of what is around them to assist in the storytelling. So I like that we had a lot of really good, strong images in the choreo and the way that they were using the camera, right? They were performing for one camera at a time and using that camera to reinforce some of the lyrical content of the song, I think is really cool. Like having a very pulled out feeling to the camera and then walking up to it for a lot of the beginning of this video. And then by the end of it, the camera's moving within the formation, again, acting as this POV for us as the audience. And they're saying like, hey, we can go anywhere together. Come with us as we go on this journey because it's meaningless alone, right? It's great to have that kind of pulled through into the way that they're doing the visual storytelling and really minimal, right? It's what, 3 locations, some costume changes, choreo, and some clever editing and some camera stuff to pull it off. And I think that that's super impressive. And I think it acts as a great introduction of them as like performers, especially since, again, very minimal stuff in terms of like great scale in the different locations that they picked, right? But there's not like a ton going on that you might see in other music videos, especially in K-pop. So them really having to pull off the performance aspect of it and be really engaging. Great facial expressions across the board. And never did I look at someone and be like, ooh, you're not in this, right? I was trying to switch my eyes around a little bit to be looking at not just whoever was the focal point, but also take in people who weren't the focal point at that moment. And everyone was performing great. And again, tracking the camera, even if they were just passing through for the formation, and great moments of choosing when to track the camera and when not to do it. So great all around, super impressive. Can't wait to check out some more stuff from them. Great use of what they had, right? And I knew that this was going to be fairly minimal going into it because of the guide prepping me for that and getting a little bit of an idea of that in terms of it being a performance version and seeing the thumbnail for it, that I had a bit of an idea of what I was getting into. But I thought I started with this one because when there's a ton happening with the music video and there's a storyline stuff, I'm gonna get a little bit distracted. And I liked that having this one was I got to listen to the song and I got to focus in on some of their choreo, because again, this is my first time properly getting to see it and they did a great job. So it makes me really excited to see how they progressed. This is the start, let alone where we're going to end up as I continue on discovering their stuff. So it's very exciting and it makes me want to check out dance practice and live performances and stuff and get to focus in a little bit more on that. But great job of just using the space and showing that they are performers, which is really impressive. I have a background in performance. I've done stuff like improv. I've done street performance stuff where it's like, hey, you have to make it up on the fly with what you have and make it work. Seeing them pull this together a little MacGyver style and put something together that really showcases what they had going for them shows me why they had the kind of hype that they did when they were starting off. Even seeing some of the little clips of them doing the KQ Fellas performance stuff, which I know about, I will get to, I promise. Definitely. But it looks like they were just in a parking garage performing. It was like, hey, let's put on outfits and perform in the space that we have and make it look as dynamic and make it work with what we got. So I think that that shows that they have the performing chops, right? Because it isn't about effects or sets or elaborate costumes or anything like that. It's about, here's what we have. We have songs and lyrics and choreo and storytelling through that and some camera work, and this is what we are as performers. And I really like getting that as a little introduction as we get into this. And I know that there's going to be storyline stuff coming up, more complicated things for me to pay attention to, but it's nice to have a bit of a start that's a little bit of a softer introduction, at least in terms of visuals overall. Again, great facial expressions from all of them. And also the song, great. I need them to not start by growling. I need that to not be a continuing thing. If it is, I may have to bring that to one of my therapy sessions going forward. But anyway, a great introduction to getting into their music. And I hope you enjoyed listening to that along with me. You can click those playlists to go into my previous reactions, or you can subscribe so next time I post an ATEEZ reaction. I will see you in the next video. Bye.